Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Pretty easy for Mouse Sports there over MVP. So MVP going to be knocked out for IEM Sydney 2018, but now into one of our, I guess, seeding matches at the stage. Both teams have qualified for the Qudos Bank Arena stage. It is Renegades versus TyLoo. And Mitch, this is a big feeling of deja vu.
Absolutely should be. You know, just another rematch of the many major, minor qualification grand finals, and these guys are definitely used to playing with each other. However, some new faces to join the fray in terms of roster changes and stuff, so it should spice up the matchup a little bit more.
I mean, I was about to say, we can look historically at how these two teams have gone. It seems like Renegades have always had their number, but TyLoo coming into this, I mean, I think for both teams, it would be pretty fair to say that people are pretty surprised that they made their way into the finals the way that they did. Very convincingly, they haven't dropped a single game just yet or a single series. TyLoo were able to take down SK and Cloud9. With Renegades, they took down FaZe, which is, in my mind, a massive ask.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive ask for both of them in terms of their, performance so far in the group stages of this competition. They've made their way through in one of the harder ways possible. It's not like they just won, two best of ones or whatever. You have to win a best of 3 series, and let alone against one of the best teams in the world. Both of them have done it the hard way, and now they'll have earned their spot in the upper bracket to play for the semi-final.
Yeah, and now it gives them a bit of a reprieve. I mean, in the case that they do lose, it means they're still in the finals, but the quarterfinals, if they win today, it will be the semi-finals. And, I mean, let's take a focus on Renegades first up, as they are the Australian team. I think that night, when they did take down FaZe in that triple overtime, I think it was, on Inferno, I think everyone's hearts in the nation were stopped there for a little bit.
I mean, it's always like that with Renegades. They tend to have just these close games, and we're used to just seeing them always fall at the last hurdle or just throw it away in the most heartbreaking fashion. But fortunately, this time they were able to get it together despite, having one of those matches where they're giving up 2 match points to either way and we're heading into multiple overtimes. They finally got it together and were able to close it out over FaZe, and everyone, I'm sure, breathed a sigh of relief after that one.
Well, they have managed to do it. Let's take a quick look at what they had to say about playing in home soil.
So last year it was a little bit rougher with our team. I don't think we were as much experienced as what we were now, especially with the new lineup that we have. But coming into this event now, it's definitely our main goal is definitely to reach the playoffs and play in front of this crowd. Like, that's exactly what we want to do. And I think coming into this event, we can definitely do that. Nerves are definitely there a little bit. I think I feel them all the time coming into every competition, just a little bit beforehand. But once you get into the game and you get focused, that just all goes away. But definitely coming into this competition, it being in Australia and our home city, there's definitely a little bit more pressure than usual, but I'm looking forward to it and I can't wait to get to the stage. That's the goal, yeah. Definitely starting last year with IEM Sydney, I think it really opened the eyes of like many Australians that had no idea about esports. So everything's just risen in Australia. So it's great to see the salaries for teams in Australia now, which is awesome to see, and everything is rising, starting to match other sports in Australia, which is great to see. Reaction from friends and family were definitely like, mum wants to come in and watch, she wants to be in the crowd, like friends want to do exactly the same thing. I know a couple of my teammates have their friends coming, like multiple friends coming in, so it just brings you a lot of confidence also that your family and friends are so happy for you also. And just thinking about it, going to the arena would just be great. Like, that's our goal right now, and that's what we look forward to the most.
And good to hear from Azza there. That means a lot for them playing in front of the Qudos Bank Arena, not only the friends but family, and I guess justification as well. They've been playing Counter-Strike for a very, very long time, and for them to show now that it's becoming a thing inside Australia as well, it's always been, I guess from an Australian point of view, it's always been one of the things where we've wanted a huge tournament for so long, and now we're finally getting it.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you, but it's not even just the fact that, like, in the past you would have these Australian teams, come into these overseas tournaments, super jet-lagged. Renegades just have to come back home from America, and they've still been able to perform.
Yeah, and it's good to see them performing against the top-tier opponents, but now they're going to have to take down TyLoo, who, in their own right, have been playing very, very well recently, taking down SK in that overtime. They've got somebody to thank for that, especially the UMP clip. I still remember that like it was yesterday. Meanwhile, it was only 2 days ago, but that's how big the play was, and now they are also with a very good chance of making their way into the semi-finals. Neither side can really take it for granted in this one. Renegades do have the historical advantage in terms of this matchup. I don't remember a time where TyLoo were able to actually defeat Renegades Renegades in a best-of-3 series.
Yeah, it's definitely been pretty tough for TyLoo. They always try to make it a little bit close, you know, just the double round count for either side, and it's always back and forth. But Renegades seems to be able to have that clutch factor that they need to sort of bring it out in the end. However, TyLoo, you know, they've been playing out these hard series so far. We've seen Cloud9, they had to beat them in double digits both maps. That SK Gaming was a nail biter, so they're going to be used to a couple more of those nail biters. There's a bit of a different feel on that roster with the new RGL when the Indonesians coming in, so maybe they'll have that X factor they need to finally get one up over the Renegades.
Xcure definitely having a cold start in these tournaments so far, but his final map against Cloud9, he was starting to put up some good numbers, and maybe he's starting to get some confidence in there. In one of the interviews with Bentet, he was saying that he wanted to become the IGL to alleviate some of the pressure of Xcure and just allow him to play the game. And as long as TyLoo are backed up with the fragging trio of DD, somebody, as well as Captain Mo, you can expect two of them to turn up. As long as two of them turn up, Bentet always has a good game. All of a sudden, you've got three people that can definitely take it against Renegades.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. I mean, like, you're looking at TyLoo, they've definitely got people who can frag across the board. We saw people like Captain Mo struggle in a couple of series. We'll see if they're able to step it up over these kind of series, because usually they're pretty good against Renegades and in domestic competition against opponents they're familiar with. But, you know, you'd expect it to come from the big three trio. You know, you're somebody, you got your Bentet, and Xcure can come in there as well. So we'll see who's going to be the people to step up there for TyLoo. I'd imagine it's going to be a bit more of a across-the-board performance now that they're feeling a little bit more comfortable, especially coming through and beating some of the best teams in the world. I mean, you're coming into your old matchup that you're super familiar with. You've definitely come in with a new burst of confidence.
Well, we can continue hypothesizing about the performance, but we can only really justify it when we see them in the server.
Yep.
And before we jump into the server, we have to take a look at what the map vetoes are going to be for the best of three. So what are you expecting? Do you think we'll see a Dust 2 today, or not really?
I mean, it's possible, you know, when you're always going down to one of these familiar series with a team you've played again time and time and time again, it's about, you know, you always have that question of, A, do we go to the maps that we always play and try to think about what happened? I mean, it was such a long time ago that these guys played against each other anyways, that, you know, it might not even be a factor anymore, especially with the roster changes. But, you know, you have to decide, are we going to go back to the same maps that we always play? Are we going to try and throw in a sneaky veto to catch them off guard and actually get a leg up this time in the series, especially if you're the one that's always, you know, kind of getting the worst end of the stick. This time, TyLoo, they're going to take out Nuke. Renegades actually going to take out Overpass. So interesting, probably because they've seen TyLoo been playing it against Cloud9, and they had a pretty impressive game on that, and Renegades just not interested in that. So they're not going to take out Dust 2 in the first phase, and this leaves it open to be either picked in the first phase, or I imagine it's just going to get taken out in the second.
Yeah, not sure if... I mean, this is a seeding match, so maybe it is some of the times to maybe bring out a Dust 2 to see how they go against an opposition in an official match. I mean, I still think we'll see Mirage and Keish most likely being picked out. Keish?
Well, you
I
could
think
see
it's
Train. I don't know. Renegades might pick up a Train here.
Well, we'll have to take a look and see. Inferno going to be picked up by TyLoo in the
go.
Train. You're correct, Pilly. As that is going to be our first two maps being played.
Interesting that TyLoo picks up Inferno against Renegades. We just saw them have an absolute nail-biter against FaZe on that one. We know how strong they can be on that map, and that's indicative of the TyLoo that's going, hey, we just saw you play this many gun rounds on a map like Inferno in a high-pressure situation against one of the best teams in the world. We know, A, what your plan A strategy is, what all your standard stuff you're going to do is, and when your back's against the wall in your triple overtime, what's all of the adjustments that you're going to make? What's all of the crazy things you're going to throw in? TyLoo's got so much data to go off in terms of, you know, hypothesizing and anti-stratting Renegades in terms of how to actually take them down on a map like Inferno. But not only that, it's just TyLoo's got, like, tried and true tested map that they always go back to. Whenever they want to pick a first pick map, it's always down to the Inferno, and they've gone for it again.
Well, we'll have to see what the final map is going to be as the next two bands. It's going to be Keish and Dust 2, so it will be left on Mirage as the decider if it does fall to it. So Renegades, given the choice of maybe picking Dust 2 at the very end, but they decide not to, clearly with TyLoo actually banning out Keish.
This is going to be a spicy one, Kevin. Like, you know, you've got TyLoo. The problem is that they better be pretty prepared on this Inferno, because Renegade is no slouches on Inferno. They have to take Inferno here. TyLoo can play Train, and we know they're capable, but it's got to be down towards the end part of their map pool.
I mean, going back a couple of days, right? So we're talking about, obviously, Renegades had to have a very good performance to take it out in triple time in Inferno against FaZe. But now, I mean, we look at yesterday's matchup where I mean, forget about that yesterday. But, I mean, these NA as well as these EU teams do seem to be suffering in terms of this Inferno. They haven't been convincingly able to close out these games so far. Do you think we'll see it in all the time, or is that more of the Inferno being the third map decider?
I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think the problem is that TyLoo's given themselves a big chance in this map veto to just get straight 2-0'd by Renegades in this, and we've seen Renegades 2-0 them plenty of times. Usually when Cage was in the map pool in terms of a pick for either TyLoo or Renegades in previous matchups. Interesting to see that neither of them wants to go to Cage anymore. Obviously swapping around players, they probably just aren't interested in that. Gets banned out in the second phase even.
And it was banned out by TyLoo, and traditionally it was one of the strong maps for TyLoo to play on as well, but...
Seemed like Renegades was able to get the better of them before
Exactly,
then.
so that's probably a respect ban coming out. No one really want to be picking Cage at the end of the day, but it is not going to be Cage that's the first map. It's going to be Inferno, then followed by Train, and if it does fall to it, Mirage. But let's focus right here, right now, Inferno. Renegades up against TyLoo. Whoever wins the series will be qualifying for the semi-finals at the Qudos Bank Arena. And TyLoo going to be starting on the CT side. Pistols, absolutely critical for both sides to get off to a good start.
No,
Actually, Renegades starting off the CT side. Sorry, TyLoo on the T.
Yep, Bentet's going to start it off with a Molotov and a smoke. Got Excurate on the flash, and the P250's got a smoke as well, where they're going to take this. Looking like they're just going to grab some B control. Nifty, as we always see on these CT pistols, going to be jump spotting the second mid, see if anybody's trashing up second mid towards Apps very, very quickly, but he won't see anybody, and creeping into the B site. They're not going to get too much information here, and it's actually Jacob, the one without any armor. He's just got a smoke and a kit, and he's going to be the first point of contact, so if he's not careful, he could get taken out by this TyLoo offense.
Drops the smoke grenade, but similarly, TyLoo also dropping their own, but JKS as well as Jacob going to be dancing around. The TyLoo attack pressing forward, but the CTs allow the opportunity to push further on the rotate. Eventually, JKS is going to be overwhelmed by the members. Bomb plan has not gone down just yet, though. Is going to go down in the first boxes, and it's going to be a 2-on-3. Already a disadvantage for the CT side. Azza struggling to land the shots. Equalizes it, 2-on-2. Good post plans for the Ts, but the time is not going to be in their favor right now as the CTs are encroaching on the positions. Maybe Bentet's all the difference. Here it is. He steps out with the Glock.
Oh, those were some sharp shots from Bentet. And I mean, TyLoo, they were at a health disadvantage there. They might have had good spots in the post plant, but a couple different bullets go a certain way, and Renegades would be able to take that one out. There was even a kid on the ground dropped by Jacob somewhere around there, so Renegades might have been able to take a bit of extra time. We won't need to see it. TyLoo's going to get themselves off to a good start, and I mean, picking Inferno into Train, they're going to try and win this series the hard mode way. I mean, they're picking two maps. I mean, they're going straight into two maps rather that Renegades are extremely good on, so this is not going to be an easy one. Interesting to see 5 smokes across the board for Renegades. I mean, they might be looking to chain these smokes at mid or B, try to force TyLoo into a bit of a pistol stack, and they do actually have 4 people towards that A site. However, no armor this time, and a bunch of grenades being thrown into B. I don't think TyLoo's just going to commit just yet. Still 5 smokes across the board, Kev.
A lot of smoke grenades for Renegades to use as well. So without the armor, they do have a little bit of utility in the CZs to play around. I was going to say for TyLoo, there was never going to be an easy way to win the series if they do manage to take it out at the end. The only easy day was yesterday where they didn't have to play any games.
The only easy day was, you know, just beating some of the other best teams in the world, you know, nothing hard whatsoever, haha. DD, got a smoke in second mid, going to be lining it up. That's just a jungle side arch smoke, as well as the CT smoke being thrown out by TyLoo. So Renegades going to be scratching their heads a little bit about what's happening, but the smoke, as soon as that CT smoke comes in, gets dropped by the Renegades player, and they can't know there's only one on the bomb site. That will be just JKS on his lonesome. TyLoo going to go towards this B site, calling the bluff. Nifty heading over with a second smoker, but he's not going to be there to drop it in time, and JKS gets entry'd by somebody.
Yeah, Nifty just a little bit late on the rotation. Renegades with that A stack, they drop their utility, but correctly called as TyLoo decide just to commit to the B bomb site. They find it pretty open. Bomb plant goes down. Renegades, not really much to save for in this round. They don't have good positions to recontest this as well, so just going to be looking for a few exits and opportunities to maybe steal a gun away from the Ts if they can.
Well, they'll definitely need to, Kev. I mean, think about it. $1,500 spent in smoke grenades did absolutely nothing to TyLoo. Sure, you slowed them down. You got absolutely no kills from them overcommitting through the smoke. You weren't able to time the rotation well enough, and Dink goes out there for Mo, onto Mo, as well as somebody losing a tiny little bit of HP, but unless they're exiting through CT CT, which they won't, into Jacob. There's very little chance that either of these Renegades players are actually going to be able to pick up a kill, and TyLoo's just going to survive with 5 alive, as well as getting the bomb plant. It's going to be huge for their money going forward, Kevin.
Absolutely instrumental, but they need to make sure that they take this round quite easily as well. They do not want to be dropping these assault rifles and SMGs. Renegades did manage to take the 2 CZs into the next round, so we might see a flashbang play on the back of Azza. He's picked up that single flash.
Well, TyLoo ticking all the boxes so far, getting themselves the pistol, bomb plant in both rounds, as well as not losing too many guns. Going to allow them plenty of rounds to play with, couple buy rounds in a row, at least to the start point of this half. Even if they do drop them against the Renegades, they're going to have time and the money to try again and get themselves into this game. 2-0 so far, and those CZs retained by Ustillo and Jacob might give themselves an opportunity to get a kill. Oh, but the airstrike of nades and the Molotov following up. Jacob still got 94 HP.
But now the pistol's coming out on the back of the flashbang. Bentet, he's very, very low. He needs reinforcements, still trying to duel it out. Eventually does go down, but that's the call signal for TyLoo just to rotate over to the A bomb site instead. Once again, it is numbers for Renegades, but not the firepower advantage. Only the MAC-10, the UMP, lost on the side of TyLoo. They still got the 3 Galils up. They found the bomb site very, very open. Double pit setup, very, very strong. Renegades on the rotate.
Yeah, and I don't think they have much chance into this one. I mean, they got a smoke they can throw it to the bomb. They got a smoke they can throw to blow rock off pit. That probably will be thrown by Nifty just now. As they're going to throw another one, we're seeing a reversal as the T side executes come in from the CTs trying to get into this A site, Kev.
Yeah, but look at TyLoo, just Molotovs coming out, making sure they cannot come up through DD. Perfect counter response for TyLoo once they see those smoke grenades. They're trying to get in front of them as well. They don't want to allow Renegades this round, and as time is ticking away, it's going to be very difficult for the CTs to come in. They're just going to exit and try to save these weapons.
Interesting that they're going to save those SMGs. I'd be trying to trap TyLoo into the site. You want to be stopping them from saving over these guns, and they're trying to do that, but TyLoo's winning all the angles. Jacob just made himself a handful of money there on the MAC-10, and luckily the TyLoo players will be able to survive in the pit. Jacob's going to carry the MAC-10 over into the next round. Whether he'll drop it and buy himself a rifle or continue to try to use that, I wouldn't imagine he's going to hold on to it, because these are going to be head-armored players over on TyLoo. Although Excurate, they couldn't have known, he's actually not getting the head armor. He's opting to get a CZ instead and some utility. Interesting stuff. He will be one shot by M4s if he does cop a bullet in the head.
It will be detrimental indeed if that happens, but for Renegades, Jacob actually picking up the 3 kills in the round with the 1 kill on the SMG and 2, I think, on the CZ. That's $800, and you can see actually a full kit right now. The only thing he can't afford is a defuse kit. Nana control coming out from the CT side. Jacob coming fast down. We'll be able to get the first kill onto Captain Mo. Bentet, oh, he's pushing through the Molotov. That's not a good decision.
Oh,
it's going to be punished, and Jacob, that's a good start. Somebody going to be trying to aggress on the other extremity.
He will indeed, and he's going to have to take a massive risk here if he wants to even this up. He's going to smoke out towards the balcony and try to jump out. Won't be caught by Ustillo as he doesn't actually commit out there. Yeah, he's just going to wait for some of the other players on TyLoo to see what they can get done. Flash goes out, and DD is going to be given an opportunity to actually take Nana here, but JKS just jump spotting. Doesn't have to contest this. He knows they're up in members, but if he's not careful, he will be caught by the AWP of Excurate. Man, TyLoo at this point, Jacob coming out with those 2 kills early in the round, just thinking to themselves, man, this guy wasn't here last time. You can't bring extra people in to fight for you, Kev. This guy's Norwegian, he's not Aussie.
Maybe it may. Here's one of the boys now, as TyLoo. They're missing 2 of the boys on their team after being taken down very early on in Nana. Renegades have the numbers advantage. They're just going to be playing that 3-2 default. They've given up top mid control. TyLoo aren't there, though. They're committing onto the B bomb site. 3v2. Jacob just going to be holding out the flashbang.
So only 2 Renegades here to defend this one, Kev. This is doable for TyLoo.
Yeah, flashbang comes forward, though, and DD gets the critical entry kill. The smoke also comes out, dink through the edge of the smoke. JKS is going to be low, and somebody going to be pushing in, trying to box him in construction. This is now suddenly doable for TyLoo. Somebody in a very dangerous position. He can't reload. Just going to be sitting at logs for now, just waiting for his opportunity. The rest of the CTs, none of them coming in from Nana. DD peeking in is going to be taken out, and they don't check correctly. Somebody nearly gets the double man spray down. Nifty coming in a little bit late, but Excurate misses a shot. While he will be able to recalibrate. Knows that Azza is close as well, but he can't flick in time. The CTs, though, no kit. Azza's need to just stick on it as fast as he can. I don't think they've got it. No kit. They have to get out. TyLoo have just bought enough time. Thanks, Excurate.
And thanks to somebody being the man, just grabbing that entry straight into the B side, I believe it was, and he gets himself a position into Graveyard, wasting so much time, does about 180 damage and gets 1 kill for himself, and the Renegades just a little bit too slow on the retake, and oh man, going to be kicking themselves after losing that first gun round to TyLoo.
That's why you probably want the kit sometimes. At the very least, Renegades will take 2 guns in the next round, so they can opt to force up if they decide to do so. A very, very early tactical pause, though.
Can't be losing the 5v3 up against TyLoo at that point, and although they did try to gather some information over on JKS, I mean, at some point, Kev, you see the AWP coming up towards B, and you know that they're taking control of top of Nana. You're really going to, like, just leave 3 people on the A site and have 2 people on the B site. I don't think it was so much the numbers that was the problem for Renegade, but the positions they were playing were just not good enough in terms of breaking down that TyLoo attack. You know, the flashbang was thrown out a little bit too late from first orange. I think he gets caught off guard with one of the TyLoo players too quickly up in his face on the B site, and I think that was Jacob who gets caught out, pops a quick headshot, and from there it just all goes downhill, Kev.
Important part as well, Jacob still had an incendiary grenade in his belt, I believe, so TyLoo were able to find the correct timing and managed to flip their way into the bomb site. Pistols trying to reinforce the back of the AWP as well as the AK-47. DD has managed to make his way into balcony room, but there are 2 CTs just right beside him.
I'm loving this from Renegades. Even in the couple of series that we saw against FaZe and some of the other closed Inferno maps we've seen, like with Order, no one's really been going for this apartment's control on the CT side. DD going to spam, but that's going to signal Azza to come in, and jumping headshot, Kevin. How does he pull that one off?
At close range, a little bit of the Aussie luck coming out for Azza. And that means one of the AK-47s has been lost, and somebody's been tagged down quite low from the CZ of Istilla as well. Istilla not retrieving the AK in time. Somebody's actually going to push through the smoke and catches him off timing. Istilla definitely wasn't expecting that.
And here we go again. TyLoo going to try and resolve this man disadvantage by heading into the B bomb site. But this time, Renegades has learned their lesson. Azza on his way with plenty of utility on his belt to help out his bros over on the B bomb site. And 4 TyLoo players coming into this bomb site looking pretty rustled.
Incendiary grenade though does buy a lot of time. Molotovs, that one going a little bit awry. Doesn't land in the position TyLoo want. 30 seconds left. They're trying to rotate as fast as they can.
Yeah, and Azza coming in and throwing that utility is definitely the one who forces them to rotate back to the A side, but it's only going to be Nifty on the AWP holding off this offense, Kev.
He can hear it though, and somebody's going to try and slow down. Nifty dancing around this column, can't land the second flick, but Azza, it does give enough time for Azza to drop the bomb carry as well. Now all down to Bentet on a 1 and 3. He's going to be committing to the bomb plant, but Azza just going to come strafing around. Beautiful round coming out from Azza. He starts it off well. He finishes off with amazing aim, and TyLoo, they do manage to finally drop their first round.
It's not just the aim, Kev. The decision-making from Azza in that situation was just so on point, rotating back and forth between the A bomb site and the B bomb site, dropping all the utilities, hitting all the headshots. Is there anything this guy can't do?
No, he's one of the boys, so he can do everything, I guess, at the end of the day.
Renegades starting to build up their economy a little bit more, only Ustillos lacking a little bit of money. Looks like a smoke towards the top of Nana coming out from Bentet. Oh, no, it's just the pop flash, actually. And it's going to get the TyLoo players to head in, but it does catch both of these Renegades players. Oh, no, Kev.
Oh, they haven't dropped their utility in time, so JKM has to be holding off for as long as possible. HE grenade finally comes out. He's doing well to do a lot of damage, and that incendiary grenade, I don't know if it was dropped by JKS just before his death. It does buy a little bit more time. Nifty, though, not able to try to catch anyone on the cross as the smoke grenade does come out, so TyLoo will be able to get the bomb plant down, also retrieve 2 AK-47s for their troubles. A big mistake coming out from the J-hold at Nana.
There's 2 incendiary grenades, and Ustila can also smoke off Banana, though, so potential to win this retake before it even gets too ugly, but they can't quite land the incendiaries in the right places, Kev, but they're going to be able to see that TyLoo's definitely on the right side of the site.
Azza's going to be leading the charge in, but Excurate trying to hold a barbecue. Great shot coming out from Nifty. It's all down to Bentet now with the CZ. They know where he is as well. Bentet has to try to stop the Bond diffuser. It's just going to be Nifty sitting on it. Defuse will go in favor of Renegades. Bentet decides not to chance it. Not enough firepower in his arsenal, but TyLoo managed to get the bomb plant down.
But that's a win there for TyLoo. Not only the bomb plant, but they killed 3 of the Renegades players and able to limp away his Bentet. He's still going to have to buy himself up an AK because he wasn't able to retain a weapon, but it's good stuff from TyLoo. Luckily for Renegades, you know, plenty of utility, as that was a pretty quick round from TyLoo left over that they hadn't used on A, and Molotoving off all that left side of the site meant there was they knew that TyLoo was going to have to be on the right side of the side or in Nana or in the yellow, and they cleared out the spots that they needed to with the incendiaries, and they were able to focus on certain spots that TyLoo were actually playing in, and that's what nets them around there in the 3v3.
Action's going to slow down once again, but the HE grenade going straight into somebody who's
from
trying to
Azza
take
again.
the apartments. Azza just having the game so far. He's been the one controlling the tempo. JKS and Jacob once again trying to go aggressive. Nana, but Captain Mo, 1-for-1. Bentet's here for the trade, and this time there's no incendiary grenade. TyLoo, they're just going to be moving their way onto the B-bomb site. Nifty has to try to get an amazing shot through the smoke if he's able to pick off any targets, but TyLoo, they're making their way in, and the CT still being kept at bay by somebody.
Yeah, the flashbangs are beautiful from TyLoo, but not only that, somebody over on this A bomb site still throwing a bit of a fake. The bomb actually gets planted over on B, and Azza and Ustillo are still looking to try and kill somebody. They're nowhere near, so this is guaranteed to save in here from Renegades. They're pretty much unable to go for this.
Yes,
We'll be able to buy up into the next round, but I mean, how many times have we seen that, Kev? TyLoo, they're just fighting at top of Nana and getting the trades back and forth, 2 for 2 every single time, or 2 for 1 in that scenario, and they're able to go and take that B bomb site pretty much for free after they catch off those Renegades players. Gonna have to see some adjustments coming in from Renegades, otherwise they're gonna find themselves losing that B bomb site time and time again.
TyLoo haven't been really cracking open the A bomb site so far to build on that point. Really just been hammering it in on the B bomb site.
Yeah, and JKS having a bit of a rough one. Against FaZe, he was having such a good game, and in general, when we're watching Renegades on Inferno, we're seeing him play like towards Emo Corner or the Pillar, you know, playing with the AWP or with a rifle and just holding down the fort. And in this game so far, it's just been him and his site partner Jacob getting caught off at top Nana time and time again, or fighting close to that CT smoke when, you know, previously they've had so much success playing a completely different style to that. They're going to grab an extra person to bring to Nana, and they're going to use a lot of utility here trying to take it over, I'd imagine.
Oh, Jacob just going straight for the contest, but it's not going to work out. Somebody in Benset. You can throw so many people, somebody's going to go down to his own Molotov. That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You try to go through your own. It makes you look a little bit foolish. It actually goes back down to a 3-3 right now, as the last site holder on JKS was able to pick up the kill as TyLoo were trying to make their way into B. And we still have 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the timer. Only 30 seconds, and it's down to a 3-3.
Yeah, and a belt full of utility for a lot of these TyLoo players. Second smoke comes out towards the top and mid, but they're going to be able to do basically whatever they want. Ustillo playing close to this smoke, taking his time, but TyLoo have not made a peep.
Oh no, Sturlo might be crossing into the open, but Captain Mo, I thought there may be in a little bit of gap. Looks like he hasn't fired. Might be the spectator smoke. Stiller is going to back off into the bomb site, but TyLoo, they're going to be making a slow contact play.
Ustillo been solid like a rock from this pib position, but will he be able to even catch any of these TyLoo players, or are they going to try and slip through CT? Usually there'll be one of these players watching the arch here, but they're just going to slip into CT behind Nifty. We're going to see if he's going to be ready for this. Looks like he's got an inkling that they might be walking towards that area. They haven't heard anything towards A, nothing on Nana, but with 30 seconds to go, TyLoo could just be hitting the perfect timing here. In all honesty, they could just be walking up Nana and setting up their smokes. Renegades can't really know this, but they look like they're ready for this.
Yeah, JKS is jiggle peeking it, and he spotted out 2 members. Nifty holding the construction line. He's holding his fire, and he's rewarded with the first kill, dropping his incendiary grenade, forcing them to come into construction now, and it's too easy for Nifty. TyLoo, they try to make this risky play through CT work out, but Renegades had 2 on the B bomb site the entire time. And that is really just trust down to Ustillo holding on to A.
Oh, so much trust on Ustillo, and you can't really blame them. He's been so solid holding that down that position, and that's what makes Renegades CT sites so good. Some of their anchor players on either one of these bomb sites, they're just so solid at holding things down, as well as Azza doing a great job rotating back and forth on this map so far. TyLoo going to be forced onto the pistols, and interesting to see that they do actually just go for that, you know, aggressive top of Nana control right at the start of the round. Ustillo, he's just going to be spotting some of these pistols in second mid, so he's going to grab some information, plenty of utility to hold them off. But once again, they get the 2 for 2, but because Renegades brings the extra person to Banana this time, JKS able to drop his utility and hold off the rest of TyLoo, so they do not stray away from that aggressive push and just go back to the passive hold that seems to be working so well for them. This time they just go, we'll just bring an extra one of the boys, and it will work out a little bit better.
Yeah, the boys, as well as the fact that somebody burnt himself in his own Molotov. That actually deflected a lot of the initial attacking force, because if somebody was actually able to make it through with his teammate, then JKS could have been in a little bit of trouble.
I think it would have been okay, but we got some action here, Kev, as Nifty picks off Bentet.
Nifty making it look too easy at the moment, dropping his incendiary grenade, falling back. Azza coming out, knows that Extra is close in jungle as well. It's a bit of a messy A4 spray. Flashbang isn't effective. USP is going to be drawn out. Sidearm is going to be more efficient than the A4 as the Stillo finally granted some action. Is going to be able to clean up TyLoo. 4-5 now.
Yeah, and Renegades building up quite the economy for themselves at this point. TyLoo going to be struggling a little bit. Not full utilities on a couple of their players, so going to be a little bit more limited on what they want to do. Maybe might see a little bit faster of a play. Are they going to keep shoving their way up Nana? I mean, it's been working for them getting the 2-on-2s and resolving the post plant, but this time they won't have as much utility to resolve the post plant as successfully as they have in the past. So maybe it might be time for a bit more of a contact play towards that brackets, get people towards the apps. We are seeing that now, Kev. Smoke onto the top mid from TyLoo, so that is always a huge tell that they're setting up to something towards this A bomb site, as that top mid area is somewhere you usually will set up the smoke. Ustillo gathers the information. He's going to drop the incendiary, so they can't come out the balcony here. And the Renegades, I'm surprised that Jacob's holding with the smoke in his hand at B, and they're not going to early rotate towards this A site, because there is so many tells right now. They've gathered the information. They've seen the smoke. This looks hugely like an A attack here, Kev.
But once again, it's still very early on, and Renegades don't want to be over-rotating just yet. You want to be leaving your utility for the critical moments.
Absolutely, I would agree with you, Kev, but they haven't gathered any information over on that B side. They have no idea whether TyLoo's in Nana or not, and that's a problem. Flashbang comes in, and that's beautiful from Renegades. That's the information they needed to gather. The problem is that doesn't tell them anything, because somebody's usually always that Carpets player. So, you know, at this point, they've potentially killed the player on Carpets on the default. Bentet's actually thought that maybe they have taken control of Banana here. Little do they know that no one's really interested in Nana at this point. JKS, he's going to be holding on top of second orange as anti-flash, as well as Jacob playing around the pillar here. So this is the setup that's been so successful for them time and time again. JKS just going to throw out an nade, might even chuck out the Molotov. Not looking like it though, just going to drop another defensive smoke. And with 30 seconds to go, good luck coming into this bomb site, TyLoo. You're going to be running through a smoke and a Molotov into JKS, who's anti-flash.
Yeah, he's got the incendiary grenade ready as well, but once again, they could be caught off timing. CT's starting to rotate. J-Cam dealing out the back pillar is going to do a lot of damage, and now the incendiary grenade buying so much time. TyLoo, there's no way in they can make it, but TT giving it a good crack, but they don't know JKS is here. JKS going to be blinded off, trying to transfer the spray. No time for the bomb plant, and the CT is just going to go hiding away. Bentet trying to stay alive. He's actually looking for the kill. So risky. He'll be able to live 5 apiece. It's now tied up. Renegades just utilizing that utility so well on that B-bomb site.
This is going to mess with TyLoo's economy so much, though, because a bunch of them are on a single save, and Bentet's got an AK. What do you do, Kev? Do you buy up around the 1 AK, or do you just let him wait until the next round when he'll have to go for CZ? I would probably say better to have 4 AKs and 1 CZ than 1 AK and 4 CZs.
I mean, in this round, they're going to have to go for the 4 pistols. Unfortunately, the other members not having enough cash, but this could be the go signal for Nana take once again. But look at these grenades coming out from Renegades. They don't do a ton of damage, but it keeps TyLoo honest. They're going to slow down their progression in Nana.
And as soon as they're thrown out, Azza just books it over back to the A site. Going to be really heavily reliant on JKS with his utility. If he doesn't drop it at the right time here, he's just going to drop Bentet. He's not interested in throwing anything as he sprays down all 3.
Yep, now JKS is starting to wake up, and that is always a scary thought. When JKS and Jacob are starting to lock down Banana, it might force TyLoo into the A-bomb site. Then you greeted with Nifty's or Pistillo's Rock, and Azza, who's been playing quite well. So Renegades now in the lead. TyLoo, though, with the buy round, 4 AKs, or 3 AKs and a CZ with the AWP, but Excurate no armor.
Yep, and man, it's going to be a tough one for TyLoo. At least they do have the utility to be able to keep Renegades guessing in this next round. I want to see them take some brackets control, some Nana control, because in that last round, they were just far too one-dimensional. Renegades able to make the information play and get the pick on somebody in the apartments, but not only that, you know, TyLoo's not able to keep them guessing. Azza, what is he? He's just going into second mid and getting a pick at the start of the round. This guy's absolutely nuts so far. I mean, it looks like a team effort across the scoreboard, but Azza, he's been all over the map. He's been rotating from A to B. I think he's the dig player, but, you know, you're always swapping back and forth with Nifty going to the Archer, going to B with the AWP, and he seems to be the swing player who's just using all the utility at the right places, going for the aggression in the right areas, flashing his teammates in. He's just doing so well so far.
And really, Renegade's utility usage has been very impressive so far. They're waiting for contact or waiting for the utility to come out for TyLoo before they decide to drop it. So even as we're hitting that 1 minute mark, you can see how many grenades Renegades still have. Now the go signal for TyLoo to take this top mid control. They were looking briefly into Diggity, as we call it, or as the Americans or the EUs would call it, porch/quad. Nifty still on the line, and this is going to be Renegades. They're just going to be watching into CT instead, but Jacob, he might have rotated out a little bit too early.
Should be pulled back by this smoke and this nade, but it's all going to be on JKS. Did he just drop another incendiary? I think he did. Jacob's got yet another one, so TyLoo having flashbacks at this point, just held off by utility until the last second. 30 seconds to go, Kev.
But this time around, they have so much more time to work with. No Molotovs, no flashbangs for them to work with. Doesn't matter, that counter flash coming out from JKS, absolutely perfect. Now the crossfire's coming out, JKS with confidence, dueling out at New Box, and once again, JKS and Jacob getting the kills and locking out the B-bomb site after Az's initial pick. 7-5 now.
There it is, Kev. They're giving them so many different looks, whether they've got Azza or Nifty coming over as that third person towards B and trying to take control of Banana, whether they're just dropping the HE nades and falling back, playing passively in the late round. I mean, earlier they had so many problems. TyLoo was getting a couple of rounds where they're just trading 2 for 2 and taking the B bomb site, but when they don't have the money to resolve the post plant, or when the rotations come in at the right time, or even when Renegades is playing passively on that site and just dropping the utility in the late round, which they've been a lot more successful doing, TyLoo seems to have absolutely nothing on Renegades in this half.
And it's starting to look that scoreline as well. TyLoo now going to be lining up at second mid, but Estillo, he's close in the smoke grenade. He's suspecting that maybe there will be a T looking to make their way in, as the rest of TyLoo are going to be pushing up top mid. Here we are, JCam, he's going to be flashed off the angle. All the rest of the CT is going to be falling back and assuming defensive positions on the back of this utility use.
There's 4 Renegades on this side. If they even go towards B, JKS is ready to drop the incendiary once again. If he even needs to, maybe he'll just feel like it's a spray down time.
Azza, I think he wasn't spotted out by expert shoulder pick, and Azza's just going to spray 3 of them down. Finally, somebody's going to come out, but it's too late. Admittingly, just the pistols coming out from TyLoo, but confidence from the Renegades players, especially from Azza, sitting in that corner, and now coming into the penultimate round. A lot of money for the CTs to work with. Can't say the same for TyLoo.
I mean, it was Ustillo was the star for Renegades against FaZe, but he hasn't needed to do anything so far in this game, Kev. You know, flashed in by one of his teammates to pick off somebody, or just gathering the information in the carpets in the early parts of the round and falling back and playing his role. But TyLoo, they've been so pinned on going towards this B bomb site, and they've just been shut down in about 3 different ways. Once again, we've got 3 players over towards this B bomb site. HENA being thrown out, and as is here, 2 further into the round, and Bentet's going to tank 70 damage right at the start of the round. However, TyLoo gathering control here. Haven't got too much control of the outside. It's the Stillo as well as Nifty still peering around brackets. Oh, Nifty with the mid-round pick straight onto Excurate. They're dismantling TyLoo in so many different ways, always changing it up, using utility differently, pushing different angles, and TyLoo doesn't seem to be able to deal with this.
And another round where Renegades are able to come up with the numbers advantage. Still going to be dropping this Inu grenade, maybe a little bit early for his standards. Normally you see Estillo still with pretty much a full set at about probably 20 or 30 seconds. But somebody has been doing well to force that aggression out.
If I'm TyLoo, I really need to be having a chat at this point, talking about we need to be just taking some map control, waiting for the grenades to come out, running down the clock, but actually forcing out the utility from some of these players. Somebody's been doing a good job of that in apartments, but another smoke coming out. He's actually going to push and take out Ustillo, Kev.
Yeah, and he has the opportunity to take down Azza as well, but, I mean, that's Azza. It's not an easy job to do whatsoever, and once again, this is just confidence coming out from Renegades that you can rely on 2 site hitters. There's the first incendiary grenade. JKS still has another one. It's going to come out almost immediately as soon as this fades. Flashbang should be coming out on the back of Jacob's contact. Flashbangs, 2 of them as a matter of fact. The T's, no chance whatsoever into the bomb site. Once again, it's just the slaughter field. You come into Nana, you're getting gunned down by Renegades. We're coming into the final half. TyLoo, no site is available for them to take.
Renegades just out-positioning TyLoo, using their utility to perfection. Aim is on point. They look unstoppable. If I'm TyLoo at this point, I am counting my lucky stars that I was able to secure the pistol and get a couple gimmicky round pushes on B where I was able to get the trades, because Renegades, since that's happened, they haven't given TyLoo anything. As soon as they've got their money in order, as soon as that pistol round was taken, they're done. They're not interested in TyLoo taking any more rounds.
TyLoo do have just enough money for AK-47s this round, but not much utility, so they have to rely on the firepower. JKS doesn't realize that some of them have snuck up very, very close. As Bentet now looking for the contact play. They are very, very close up.
Yeah, they've forced out this smoke from Jacob, and that's 1 minute 30 seconds into the round, Kev. This is good stuff from TyLoo. They needed to start making these changes. They really needed to start forcing out this utility in the early round because it's been killing them. They've been pushing in with 30 seconds to go. Here goes the attempted brackets control from TyLoo. They're going to need to take that as well. They've already taken Banana and they're going to group up and hit towards A, but they've got no utility left, Kev. They can throw what? A Moto Smoke and a Molly towards Pit, and then good luck heading into the meat grinder of Ustillo and Azza with the sight crossfire. Full utility still left on his A players as well as the flashbangs. Look at Ustillo. He's got everything he needs. Smoke out towards the apartments, and that's not even from Ustillo yet. He's got still tons of utility.
But they don't have the information where TyLoo is, and Excurate is going to be making first contact, but that's a sharp entry coming out from Ustillo. Nifty now swinging out, and it's going to be 2 kills in the favor of TyLoo. They managed to get control of the A bomb site. Renegades did not expect them that fast up Diggity, and Azza was not in the position to help out his site mates. It's going to be the final round.
Contact play gives Renegades a completely different look, and they're not able to drop the utility in time. TyLoo getting in there, using some of their strengths and taking the aim duels. And here comes the Molly to backside. Renegades, no reason not to go for this, Kev.
It's the final round, so here come the incendiary grenades and flashbangs. Here come the boys, but DD's done well to dodge it. He's got the first headshot. He's spraying down all 3. Actually, make it 2. Somebody's going to clean up, so at least TyLoo with the 6th round. But it's going to be 6-9 half. We'll be back after the break. Nine-6 to halftime score between TyLoo and Renegades. A very impressive half coming out from Renegades. It looked like a great start from TyLoo, but Renegades, catching wind of what they were doing, managed to get the better of them until the final round.
Oh man, TyLoo really looked like they were having a rough one, but what can you really say? Renegades was just, their positioning was amazing, their utility usage, their aim, everything seemed to be on point, but it doesn't really matter, Kev. TyLoo, they got the pistol, they still managed to grind out 3 other rounds, and a 9-6 half is really not indicative of how one-sided that half looked for Renegades in the gun rounds. And if TyLoo's able to take this CT pistol, all of that hard work that Renegades did to get themselves those 9 rounds in such a, you know, stylish and beautiful CS fashion, it's not really going to matter at the end of the day. TyLoo still be even with them.
Couldn't agree with you more there. With the risk of sounding pretty biased as an Aussie, Renegades definitely play that half better, but TyLoo able to sneak away some critical rounds means that they definitely have a great chance coming into their CT side as well, especially if they take their pistol. Renegades just going to be lining up at Nana for now.
It's all going to be on Bentet. He hasn't even got any armor, Kev. Just a smoke to drop to try and save himself. Not really probably going to have to worry about that as Nifty throws in. It's going to be a front of sight smoke, so maybe giving them a little bit of different look. Flashbang comes over the top and in come Renegades.
And Bentet is looking at the right way. He hasn't dropped the smoke grenade just yet. Under pressure to try to back off, but Excurit just holding onto construction. 2 headshots for him. And this allows Bentet to back off quite safe and nicely. As they're going to be pushing in to try to challenge Excurit, but you can't be stopping this Indonesian machine just yet. He wants more headshots. He's coming in to coffins, and he's looking to put some Ts inside along with the silos. Bomb does go down behind the fountain. And we've seen this post-plant position before. TyLoo did the exact same, but there's more members on the side of TyLoo right now. Excurit, he's on the ace with a pistol. Might be able to find it as well. He will be able to pick up the pistol ace. The defuse will go in the fire of TyLoo. That's the way to start it off.
Huge performance there from Excurit. Gets himself all 5 kills, and that was a different look that Renegades were throwing at TyLoo. Smoke onto the front of sight. Flashbang for the coffins. Seems to work pretty well, but when Bentet comes in with the repeak and Excurit just realizing what's happening, Bentet calling that they're pushing through main, and all he has to do is just sit in the right spot and put his crosshair at head sight, and all of a sudden he's cleaning up Renegades right and left, and that's going to be TyLoo grabbing themselves another round. Bomb plants, meaning that it's not going to be all 3 for TyLoo. They're going to get themselves up to 9-8 if they don't somehow falter to this handful of P250s. Ragtag by as well as Nifty on the flashbang, but if they do bring out this one, they'll be bringing it very close to Renegades before their first gun round.
And they need to take all these M4s forward if they are to have a better chance coming into the buy round. Oh, we can't count on chickens before they do hatch.
Got one more half to look at, Kev, but I'm going to be a little bit frustrated, to be honest, if TyLoo's able to come away with this map. How well Renegades played that CT half. They seemed like they were just so dominant. Flashbang comes over the top here, and somebody's going to be in a lot of trouble in a sec. Oh,
it could be also a massive opportunity to find money, but not like Mirage yesterday. Here's Bentet with MP9. They're lining up, and that is going to be 2.4k in the pockets of Bentet. And it's a good start so far for the B site holders. Getting some confidence back in. Bentet didn't have a great T-half alongside with Excurit, but if they get some confidence in coming into this round, it could be what they need. And Renegades, they did manage to get the bomb plant down, but with the investment in P250s, it means they may be missing a smoke grenade that they may need coming into their first buy round.
There you go. If he didn't have enough money in the first place and they're still suffering some language issues, he's got enough money to pay the one and only Kevin Karatsu for some Chinese lessons. And now Renegades going to move forward with the AKs. Somebody got himself an MP9, see if he's able to grab himself some more money. Bentet's doing a lot of damage. What is that from somebody?
He's going to push in, and that is just a classic somebody move. He's just going to go in through a smoke, get a kill. He knows that the enemy's low, and he just gets out. No punishment whatsoever.
What's that? You guys are trying to set up a layered approach with the banana control? Maybe try to go back towards the brackets? No, I'll just run through the smoke with an MP9.
But
don't feel like playing a strategic game today.
If you look at anyone on TyLoo who was going to do that, it was going to be somebody. So Renegades already down a single member. TyLoo, they have 4 M4s in their hands. DD, he's going to be one. Boosted on top of the quad. No damage done whatsoever. Captain Mo trying to get the trades. And here we are, 3 CTs. Excurit, he's got the M4 doing a lot of damage. Can't get the final kill, but it does make it a 2-on-1 Nifty. Going to get the bomb plant down and a little bit of space to work with as TyLoo are rotating across.
It's all going to be on Nifty. He's going to have to give himself a good spot. I'd imagine left side pit would be among the priorities, but he's actually going to go to the right. Needs to line himself up some quick headshots because he hasn't got a lot of HP to play with here, Kev.
He's got 36 Harry Potters, as you'd put it, but somebody might have just spotted him out. Some good movement to throw Nifty off. Now Bentet going to be elevating himself into Graveyard, but Nifty can't snap onto the second head. It looks great on somebody, but Bentet just slowly crawling up. Is going to be the Undertaker from that position.
1 or 2 more stray bullets there, Kev, and that was a round for Nifty. Interesting to think, though, that Renegades, they're coming up brackets, right? All right, Kev, here's a theory for you. You see someone on top of Dig, you see somebody go to trade from the porch. that screams dig setup. And what are Renegades doing? They're all looking at Boiler. They're all staring up at jungle. They're not expecting that third person to be the person holding apps from the diggity side, and that is such a common setup. And it's just one of those things that you don't think too much about it. You're focusing on your crosshair a lot, and it's not really something that a lot of people would really recognize, that this is clearly a dig setup. And the third person comes in there and gets so much more work done than he should have.
Xcurate getting 2 and doing that 70 damage to make Bentet's as well as somebody's job on the retake easy. I mean, somebody didn't really contribute too much in that one, but TyLoo had managed to bring it a piece once again.
TyLoo doesn't have any incendiaries though, Kev. They're going to have to rely on the smokes and the counter flashes, and up come Renegades with the bracket control.
Oh, somebody's completely blinded out, but still managed to get the first kill. Gifts it M4 over to the T's. They look to wrap their way into CT spawn. Xcurate going to be holding the angle, though, with the AWP. Now, Xcurate, he's going to be given the information that the T's might be coming up through CT. DD, though, not going to be pushing out just yet. They're scared of the ramp. A lot of responsibility, though, given to the young Xcurate to be holding this Nana position by himself. No CT is in the position to come and trade out, and this could be worrisome, especially if Renegades are able to take this AWP off. You see Xcurate in 2 minds right now. As finally DD decides to try to push into CT. Doesn't realize there's another one close there. JKS picking up a kill. 5 Bentet's here. He'll take down the bomb carrier. Xcurate still watching the wrong way, just shifting back in and out. I think now he knows that Az is here, but he misses the shot. Az is allowed to retrieve the AWP. And it's going to be interesting to see what he wants to do here. 25 seconds left. The bomb in the control of Bentet right now. He's just going to discard the AWP and try to go in for this kill. Should be going down quite easily. Or now lost for the CTs.
Bentet, he's looking for it, almost
so close.
able to touch it. Maybe even slamming the E key on his keyboard, but doesn't always work so good, does it? Now, Renegades into another buy round, and they've done plenty of damage to this TyLoo economy. Look at somebody. He's onto the UMP. Not sure he'll be too bothered with that one. Probably just going to run through another smoke and get the kill anyway, but straight into another gun round here. Renegades trying to grind it back, and it feels like they were in this game on CT. We've said it time and time again, but now TyLoo in the lead. HE nades not quite making it down towards the bottom of mid, but the second one gonna get Jacob from thrown by the Nana player, I believe. And just going to be a passive round here for TyLoo. Somebody's actually going to be up in the jungle cubby, so if they don't Molotov that off, he could get so much work done here, but it's going to be Captain Mo to bait for him with the A4. Apps control being taken by Renegades, and looking like they're going to actually set up towards this A area. Will they just take control of brackets? Will this be a full execute over towards the site, and then they'll be heading back to Nana? Nifty seems to be interested in locking down this banana area, see if anybody's getting some information. Molotov goes back towards Diggity, flash over the top, and there's the bracket control taken by Renegades. Captain Mo, lucky to get away with that one, almost gets sprayed down through the smoke by Azza, and Renegades not going to commit. Brackets control obtained, they're going to head back towards Banana, but only 2 of them actually heading there. Now the rest of them starting to oblige, and the rotations are coming in for TyLoo.
Now look at somebody. He knows he's got the UMP, so he's deciding to challenge for information. HE Grenade's going to do a huge chunk of damage to JKS. That actually puts him, I think, in the headshot range for the UMP. Now somebody knows that at the very least there's one more at mid, but 35 seconds left. They're going to be going back to A. Somebody's just spraying through the edge of the smoke grenade. There's still 3 members on the A bomb site, though.
He's still got a molly. He's going to drop it off top mid, and 27 seconds to go. That's going to slow down Renegades a lot. And TyLoo, they're still only going to have 3 people on this bomb site. UMP being used on the dig areas might not be so effective, especially when they're coming up jungle, Kev.
They're going to be splitting on the A bomb site, and TyLoo, 2 members in pit with rifles, and somebody on the site will be going down to this wrap, though. There's nothing he can do. Stillo, the bomb is going to be lost in the open. Someone's going to take that up and just get that bomb down pronto. Whoa. It's going to be Stillo. He knows what's up. He'll get it down, and I think Bentet and Captain Mo just going to be saving here. Well calibrated by Renegades. It was looking difficult for them, but they do very, very well.
Could not be of cutting it any closer there, and man, the time just running down. TyLoo, if they had hidden a couple more corners, maybe somebody doesn't quite realize how quickly people are coming up jungle. He's just tunneling on the carpets and the apps with no jungle control. And Renegades do take advantage of that. Could have been a different story if they didn't even touch jungle in the first place. But without the TyLoo player rotating in from B, the second B player coming through, then there's no one really to watch the jungle for them, and you've got to say there to TyLoo, when the time's getting down that low, you can often trust the double pit in the site crossfire, but sometimes also there's merit to going for some information on one area of the map. Renegades were doing that on their CT half, flashing into Nana, less so, but flashing into carpets they did do.
TyLoo, their money is now broken as well. They've managed to take 2 rifles, but the rest of the money is not good enough to justify more rifles and weapons.
That was a beautiful little round from Renegades as well. Did you see how they went back and forth? They went and took brackets off of TyLoo, then they went back to Banana. That's what we were seeing between Cloud9 and Order yesterday, doing so well, just keeping the opponents guessing, making sure they don't have too much information. But straight into B is Azakev.
Yeah, he's on the entry, but Bentet's actually here with the AK-47. Ooh. That's actually the bomb and the AWP loss. He's still going in. That's a beautiful flashbang coming. Oh my goodness! God. Bentet, you can't do that! That is disgusting!
JKS actually taking out the headshot onto somebody there, but that's not the person you want to be shooting when Bentet's, you know, clearly terminating every single one of them. I'm pretty sure he's deleted CSGO off every single one of their computers, including the coach, and he doesn't even have one, Kev.
He's deleted my mind because that was absolutely fascinating to watch. It was beautiful. That's going in a frag reel for sure. Oh. But that means that TyLoo, not only did he secure that round in the back on the eco, that's actually a big boost to the economy, only losing a single member. I'm fairly certain a few AKs were taken on the AWP into the next round as well. So Renegades really just back to square one.
Renegades really need to just keep playing with the rotations of TyLoo. It's working so well for them, just playing the mid and late round in the information game, using their utility. They tried to simplify things down there, Kevin, and unfortunately, when TyLoo's got so many talented players like Bentet, so many huge aimers like somebody, if you're going to make it easy for them and try and take the bomb site and you don't catch them with a flashbang, you better believe they're going to be hitting those shots. So maybe slow things down in the next gun round. Don't make it so easy for Bentet to just annihilate you all and just keep him guessing.
Now it's going to be gunfights at mid. DD trying to join into the party. Captain Mo can't transfer the spray. And actually with JKS coming out through apartments, it means that the Ts are allowed a little bit of access in the A-bomb side. But the bomb is all the way in second mid. None of the CTs have spotted it just yet. But surely someone should eventually. Somebody just crouch walking out of library.
Here he comes again, Kev. He's not stopping.
No, he's still pushing in. Somebody wants more kills. And you may ask who.
But we know who it is. We all know who it is at this point, and it's not Bentet. He already had his, what was it, 5 whole ace in the last round.
And it was a critical ace as well, because that's given the advantage over the TyLoo now. That it was a situation for Renegades to get so many more rounds there.
Again, Kev, it's the same thing we're seeing on the last half. They're getting bailed out. Renegades seems to just be outplaying them. They're, you know, they've read the books, they know what they're doing, they've got all of their game plan in order, but TyLoo, you know, they're not going to be conventional, they're not interested. Going for the big plays, and that's been working pretty well for them. I mean, they're in the lead at this point, but now Renegades, if they do slow things down again, Excurate gets himself legged. You got to be, so frustrated at that point as Nifty.
That wasn't a leg, it was, I think, just a tag through the edge of the wall. Just a little bit under 80 damage.
Oh, Azza. He has the HE in his hand. He's holding the line for Excurate to re-aggress. The flashbang does come over the top. Excurate.
Could be in big trouble at the moment. They know he's here, especially with Azza. He should be able to hear the scope noise. All Renegades, they're just focusing jungle right now.
Somebody's got control of Banana, though, so there's 4 TyLoo players here, especially with Bentet. He's already in library, ready for this jungle hit to come in. Smoke comes in at a critical time, and Azza's not going to aggress through that. That definitely would have been punished by Bentet. And Renegades just keeping TyLoo sweating, but they're not doing anything to retake control of Banana. Somebody, you know, he's the kind of player. Here they go. They're going to go take Nana back control of it. Flashbang will come on the line from Nifty, and I don't know if that's going to stop somebody from jump spotting until he sees somebody. He's just going to keep looking.
He's called the bluff at the moment. He's just
he's fearless, he's confident.
He's fearless. Care. He has nerves of steel.
I bet you he's just going to flank so quickly as well as soon as these smokes come down.
Excurate blinded off the angle. They are going to be committing to the A-bomb site. Excurate under so much pressure at the moment. Does actually get the shot onto Jacob. He was too low from earlier, but still a 1-for-1. The CTs, 2 of them in pit, locked behind the smoke grenades. Estillo now trying to make his way into Graveyard to elevate his way up. Beautiful shot onto DD, but Captain Mo is still going to be here. No longer though. Estillo's going to be putting all the CTs in the grave. He is just absolutely demolishing them, and that will completely destroy TyLoo's chances of trying to retake that A-bomb site.
I'm usually just not a fan of smoking the CTs into pit and trying to take the bomb site like that. I mean, you could try and resolve the post plant from Diggity, or you can use your utilities, come out carp and dig after you've killed the site player and try to beat them in that way with the smoke onto Moto. That's all fine, but sometimes if you're not able to pick off those dig players, you know, the round can actually break down because suddenly you're trying to face down TyLoo players who are attacking you from Diggity, as well as the rotators coming in through brackets and through Arch, but you still are being the hero there. He actually picks both of those Diggity players who are just trying to wait it out for the rotates to come in, as well as the person pushing through the Moto smoke. He gets it all done by himself, and that's a huge round for Renegades to be winning. It's going to start putting pressure on TyLoo's money, that's for sure. Somebody's able to hold on to his M4, and he's still got 4K in the bank, so you can never count TyLoo out of this round. They're so dangerous with these CZs sometimes, and Renegades going to have to earn this one as well. Such a close game.
And this is a round that you don't want to be dropping in classic Renegades fashion. As Nifty missing a shot, he's just not fascinated and looking at mid at all. He's
been
committed.
98 in forward again, Kev. It's just a classic A4.
Such is life sometimes. Sometimes you get the 100, sometimes you get the 98. And this time around, Estillo, the hero or the star of the previous round, is going to escape alive with 2 HP. TyLoo have lost their first member, DD, taking a lot of damage to that wall bang in apartments.
What's that chicken doing on the balcony there, Kev?
Just chilling out, having sunbathed and having a good time.
Oh no, the smoke comes in and he tries to go for a bit of a run. And Renegades just chilling up towards this brackets area. They're going to take control of it. 2 TyLoo players actually walking through jungle here. They might try and boost over this smoke. See if Renegades is going to catch this.
Az is watching it, Captain Mo taking a lot of damage. Az is aware of what's going on, but still Captain Mo able to get a kill. Now they know that Execute's going to be here, and Execute trying to find the trade close range. Is still going to be crawling in through Diggity. He's going to make his way into pit. DD's still here. No one's checked balcony. DD's managed to exchange positions, and this means that he will at least drop one player. But once again, Estillo, he's in the prime position to get the trade out. So TyLoo all down to Bentet to continue any damage that he can find. Going to be inside library for now. Renegades going to be tying at 12 apiece.
He still is going to have to go for a bit of a jog somewhere. He can't survive with that amount of HP in the pit. Probably will head towards the carpets or the middle. If he does actually end up going through that library area, that's going to be a free AK for Bentet, and that's not whatsoever going to be a problem if you look at TyLoo, because, you know, with the CT economy the way that it is, you can never be sad about grabbing yourself an extra gun. However, not to be. Both of the Renegades players going to be saving in the pit. Still heading back towards T-spawn, and the bomb will detonate rather. 12-12. And we're going to be heading into a bye round. Probably only a handful left in this game. Execute doesn't have anywhere near enough for an AWP. He's going to be having to go for the rifle armor and not much else. No utilities for him, but Bentet looking like he's going to buy his friend an AWP, or might have been one of the other boys, and it's going to be M4s across the board.
Severe lack of utility, though, as Renegade's going to be calling the tactical pause. TyLoo, only Bentet with a full belt of utility. The rest of them, not as much.
I'd hate to see Renegades change it up here, because what they've been doing is so good. Taking control of brackets. They have been a bit lax taking control of the Nana here and there. We've actually seen somebody able to abuse that, gather so much information, allow TyLoo to really stack towards that A bomb site. So Renegades need to keep them honest on the Nana control, keep them honest in terms of taking brackets and prevent them from getting the information. You still are always so good at grabbing control of that apartments and not letting these CTs do too much in that areas. But I can't imagine the TyLoo are going to be able to play a straight up round with such a lack of utility at this point. Bentet's the only one with too much, and the rest of them just smokes or nothing at all. So TyLoo, I'd imagine they're going to be having to take some aim duels pretty quickly here, or Renegades is just going to be able to beat them in the long game.
That's TyLoo's specialty, though, taking the aim deals and getting nice and close in Renegade's face. For Renegades, they just need to slowly play with the map rotations and get the favorable engagements, and they can take this round. Pivotal round for TyLoo to try to make their way back into this game.
And here's the change-up from TyLoo, the double apartments. One in the left side, that will be Captain Mo, and it's probably going to be Execute standing right next to him with the AWP. If anybody tries to go for that apartments control, the AWP will probably pick one of them. Second one might come in for the trade, and Mo will be ready for him coming through from the balcony side. Bit of a different approach this time from Renegades. No smoke up towards the jungle side. They're just really going to be going dry, straight up brackets. They might not even be expecting that TyLoo has enough money for an AWP, so that might actually be a problem moving forward here. It doesn't look like the way that they're playing, they're scared of an AWP. And luckily, they've dodged a bullet because they haven't actually gone towards where Excurate is playing. DD just shoulders for the information, but he's given up full control of Arch, and this is going to bamboozle TyLoo in the mid-round here. If they panic, if they put 1 foot out of line, Azur is going to stamp on it.
But Excurate's here with the AWP, and Captain Mo's also in pit. Diggity finally coming in. Nifty, good shot from the AWP, but Excurate's allowed to stay in the prime position to do some further damage. Now DD stepping up. Nifty on 49 HP. DD trying to spray through the smoke grenade. A one-on-one on the A-bomb site just for now. Somebody going to be trying to rotate across, but Nifty barely spots out the shadow of DD. Now down to a one-on-one. Going to get that bomb plant down at the back of site. Somebody, though, with the height advantage, going to be at balcony. Nifty dropping the smoke, trying to buy a little bit of time to play around this, but somebody is going to drop down to pit. I don't know if Nifty heard that.
Wouldn't imagine he did. Still a little bit of a hissing sound coming from the smoke, and it was fair way away, but somebody's got no kit, and he's playing this one incredibly slowly. Spotted Nifty, he's getting spammed out, but is somebody going to have time to actually even make it to the bomb?
I don't know just yet. I think he just barely has enough time. He's going to be committing to the stick. If he does get the defuse, it means he can take the ult forward, but he may have left it a little bit too late. It's going to go down to the final few seconds. Oh, he's just got it. And he'll pick up the AWP. That is a must-win round coming out from TyLoo. Renegades, though, they can still back straight into this TyLoo. Not much to work with in terms of the economy. They have to win this one.
Patience pays off there, and luckily AWP retained over on the side of TyLoo. Going to be dropped over to Excurate, and he's going to have money for days. Interesting that he doesn't actually opt to go for any kind of incendiary. He's got the CZ. He's going to have 1,500 moving forward, which means that it's going to be giving him a little bit of a buffer in terms of his AWP fund, but going to be 3 towards Nana very quickly here for TyLoo. Excurate's actually throwing out a smoke to try and block that Molotov, and he's going to pick up Jacob. That's beautiful from Excurate, taking control of the game, and at the perfect time as well, because this is going to put so much pressure on Renegades. They're down a man, their money's starting to get low, and this is not where you want to start to be struggling for money moving into the later parts of this game, Kev.
It is just going to be backing off as TyLoo. They take this Nana control and just float straight back. Bentet once again just going to be left at Nana by himself. But Renegades, they're starting to try to maybe hasten up the pace with just 4 people.
Still into the 5-on-4 here, and we saw TyLoo just grouping up in these low man advantage situations and going in for the aim duels. But Renegades going to be split up in pairs, just keeping TyLoo honest, trying to punish any pushes. I don't imagine they'd be interested in going for any of those, though. And TyLoo taking one out of the Renegades playbook. They're just going to be expending utility in the late round. Good luck trying to go towards the B site. And Renegades is going to recognize that's probably not an option. Anybody going for information on that dig would be punished by Ustillo, and JKS is going to pick up Excurate as well. So that's definitely going to help moving forward here.
That's a big entry frag because it means that TyLoo have to dedicate resources into jungle. This is DD. He's pushing up. He's looking for the fight right now. 3 Ts right now. Still trying to make contact. JKS trying to shoulder peek it out. Does draw enough gunfire. Captain Mo now has to take down this AWPer and play the post plant or post site perfectly. But they're trying to push to the smoke. Captain Mo with a FAMAS. It's all down to JKS. The rest of the boys from TyLoo have come across. Another 2 rounds away from taking Inferno.
That was absolutely huge from DD, just making that mid-round push, getting the 1. And the reason why he doesn't actually get the 2 there, Kev, is because of the shoulder peek from JKS. When you're halfway into your spray there, you're in the 6th or the 7th bullet, and you stop for half a second. It didn't give time for his aim to actually reset. And when he goes for the second spray, he only hits 2 of the bullets on JKS, and he's able to get the trade. But it's just not enough for Renegades to be able to net themselves that round. They leave it so late, and despite JKS with the beautiful shoulder step, as well as the pick onto Excurate, Renegades is not able to close that one out.
Renegades now staring down the barrel of defeat, and they decided to barely invest in this round. And 2 flashbangs makes me feel like this is going to be God flashes out of apartments and an apartment drop.
Nifty's just going to throw one over the chimney as the rest of his friends come straight out the boiler, come straight out the carpets.
And here it rolls. They're straight down into Diggity, but the AK from DD is going to be shutting down one prong of the attack. Now Captain Mo from Pit is going to be mowing them down. And with this, all the T is going to be going down in Diggity. TyLoo keep all the guns up. They also have match point.
Timeout from Renegades, and TyLoo, plenty of money to play with, like you did say, Kev. Definitely a long way from where they were struggling with the utility and struggling to just pick up a couple of UMPs, pulling the AWPs over from different rounds. And they've really fired up towards the end part of this CT half. Renegades looking lost, and they're definitely not out of this just yet. They have the potential to grind out 3 rounds. With the way that their style works, they can always just keep pushing TyLoo back. They don't have to go for anything gimmicky because their main default style seems to work so well against TyLoo. But if TyLoo keep making these individual plays to get on top of things, then it's going to be pretty difficult to Renegades.
You stole my point, Billy.
Rip.
I was
Sorry.
about to say that Renegades, they can play tactically, but all TyLoo need at the moment is just one person standing up and just completely deleting Renegades, and that will just win them the game. They also have money on some of their players, so they have the luxury of equaling one as then buying up into a 4-buy round. So they really have 2 chances at closing out this game. Renegades, every single moment is do or die.
TyLoo, they're going to be going for this banana control, and Jacob has been getting picked pretty often here. He dies to the Molotov. It's just one of those situations where you pull out the smoke, the animation's not quite finished yet, and sometimes you hit mouse 1, but the smoke doesn't come back out. The assumption's there. Execute picks up Jake Kirsten. What a way to go out of this map, Kev.
Estilo, though, trying his best to be explosive on the A-bomb side, but the trade's going to be working for TyLoo. It's all down to Nifty now with the AK-47, and somebody who wants to close it out. It's actually Bentet with the AWP. TyLoo picking up their first map pick, or 16-12 against Renegades, convincingly at the end.
Unfortunate stuff there from Renegades. They seem to have their chickens in a row in terms of the CT side, but TyLoo's stealing enough rounds, and I can't even say, you know, the theory was there from Renegades. They had a pretty nice default going on the T side, but TyLoo seemed to be all over them every turn, and especially Excurate, and over towards that B area, Jacob just seemed to be losing his life on so many critical rounds in the first couple seconds of the round, and that puts so much pressure on some of the rest of Renegades to actually make a move moving forward. They seem to be getting the carpets control totally fine, but when it came to the mid-round, and especially towards that Nana area, TyLoo seemed to be all over it.
Absolutely, and not only on the, I mean, we can talk about TyLoo on their CT side as well, but let's bring it back to the beginning of the match as well, because Renegades, we thought that they had a brilliant first half. TyLoo able to sneak 6 rounds away, and those in the end were the critical 6 rounds that they did need. And I think the turning point of the match was Bentet's ace. What can you say about that? I have not seen a rifle control like that in a very, very long time.
That was absolutely huge, but, you know, we really have to mention that TyLoo did win both pistols moving into this half, and that really limited how many chances Renegades had to actually make adjustments on this T side. And when you are taking the timeouts and, you know, you're having to save and go into the next gun round, especially towards the end parts of that Renegades being on the T side and TyLoo being on the CT side, it really limited the amount of opportunities that they had to readjust and try a different strategy. And especially even if you have a strategy in mind and then all of a sudden someone's gotten picked, like Excurate's just walked out and picked Jacob towards B, or Jacob's dying in the Molotov, or somebody else is getting picked somewhere else on the map, it just crumbles your plans altogether. And even if you had something particular in mind, TyLoo's being so disruptive to the rest of Renegades that they're not able to execute their plan.
I mean, we were talking about the same thing on Renegades on their CT side, where TyLoo was trying to execute on just a very basic default. I don't think TyLoo really changed much up on their own T side, and you can see how well Renegades played around that. TyLoo did the exact same, repaid it with, I guess, double the punishment, pretty much, because it just looked utterly dominant from TyLoo as well. Didn't look even close at the end for the T side of Renegades.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, you know, the T side of Renegades, we did see towards the earlier parts of that, when Bentet actually hit his ace, the contact play that Renegades tried to go for, Azza just underarms a flash and tries to go, you know, deep into B really early, and the individual play from Bentet super shuts them down in that scenario. And I was saying, you know, earlier in the game, like, oh, you can't do that against TyLoo because they'll just individually outskill you. That really doesn't happen every round, and that might have made Renegades think twice about actually going for these fast plays, and they really didn't ever go for something like that again. They only went back to the slow plays, they only went back to the defaults, and I thought that was going to be the key to them winning. But who knows, maybe if they had given it another crack, maybe if they had gone for something a little bit faster, go up quickly towards that brackets and take the aim tools, they might have been able to net themselves around. But unfortunately, TyLoo was just all over it individually, and that's how we're used to seeing them take it out anyway.
So TyLoo taking out Inferno 16-12 over Renegades. They're one map away from making their way into the semifinals of Qudos Bank Arena. Can they clean up the series, or will Renegades fight back? We'll find out after the break.